No. That's wrong. Dixie Diamonds 61. Dixie Road, Cooktown, Three Islands National Park, 2:47 p.m. Ha! Eddie barked in response to Balloony's inquiry about which pronouns would best replace it in describing their amazing and unique friend. Lizzie was pointing out my canalized sexism when we were discussing this earlier, weren't you, darling? Behavioral canalization is a fancy way of saying that we humans tend to fall into accepting certain ideas and following them subconsciously. "Ow!" Lizzie said with a laugh. "That's rather harsh, and surely a first attempt at creating gender-free pronouns is unlikely to be perfect. Unlike you, my love," she added with a wry smile. And again, "Ha ha," Eddie barked. Schmooziness aside, Liz pointed out that while Z and Ziz passed the gender-free test, perhaps Zim is more indicative of him than it is gender-free. "But a wonderful first attempt," Lizzie declared. "Plus, if I'm not mistaken, Balloony sees himself as sexless, correct? That you are neither he nor she. It is my observation that bisexual species," Balloony intoned, "that is, those that consist of male and female and require both to reproduce, are inordinately consumed with mating, something which has no allure for me. Therefore, I see myself as sexless, though it's possible that as I age I could become either male or female. But given the postulate that I was created and will not reproduce, I believe I am and will remain sexless." "Psst," Eddie said. "Jerald, cheeky. Balloony just used a lot of words to say it, Z, is neither a boy nor a girl." "Thank you," Jerald replied. "I suggested Zer in place of Zim," Liz said, "but that just flips the sexism. It still is suggestive of gender, just female rather than male. I'm certain we can do better. I just don't know what better would be." "If I may," Karen asked. "Of course," Balloony replied. "Let me begin by seconding Liz's suggestion of not calling Balloony it unless it is what Balloony decides works best," Karen said. "This strong disinclination concerning calling someone it is our baggage, not yours. But you are an amazing entity, and when humans hear it, we minimize the importance of said it. So unless you're terribly uncomfortable with changing from it to other pronouns, I can't urge you enough to do so." Karen sighed, then added, "Having recently read Dave Pelser's novel A Child Called It, I'm a bit oversensitive. It's a novel where a child is terribly abused physically, emotionally, and mentally by the boy's mother, and part of the abuse includes her calling him it while calling his siblings by name. No doubt my recent exposure to such a terrible tale has me hypersensitive, but I did have the same reaction as Lizzie when I heard you call yourself it, Balloony." "If you're interested in changing pronouns," Karen continued, "how would you feel about keeping Z for he and she, keeping Ziz for his and hers, but perhaps going with Za for him and her, or possibly Zia? My thought was that an A at the end of ZH or Z complements the Z at the end of Ziz. Does that make any sense at all?" "Yes," Balloony said immediately. "Indeed it does. I like it, but let me think about it for a bit before I come to my final conclusion. For now, I'm fine with Z, Zim, Ziz, and we can settle on specifics later. I think that would be best all around." "It's your call, Balloony," Liz said. "We're truly not trying to pressure you." "I know that," Z responded. "You're all wonderful." "As are you," Karen said. "By the by, I'm home. I'll boot my computer and check for emails from Rosier periodically, and I'll shout as soon as I hear from him." "If you hear from him," Balloony whispered. "Tut-tut, Balloony," Mama Pie replied. "No reason not to be optimistic. Liz, Eddie, let us know when you're home and we'll scamper your way. I'd like to meet you." "Will do," Lizzie said. "I'm looking forward to meeting you in person." "Ditto," Ed added, "looking forward to a face-to-face." Optimism. Noun, hopefulness and confidence about the future or the successful outcome of something.